Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jarret Johnson, and man, this is becoming too much of a habit here. Tough loss for the Red Raiders. 74-69 in overtime, this time to Oklahoma State. Actually, two games against the Cowboys this year, two tough losses in overtime. The Red Raiders did some really good things tonight, and I understand there's probably a lot of Texas Tech fans out there that don't want to hear this, but the truth is there were some things they needed to do that they got done, which would tend to make one think that, Tech had won the game. But I'll get to some reasons why they did not. First off, let's start off with what they did right. Texas Tech got out to a good start, actually had a lead at halftime, and coming into this game, and somebody pointed out I jinxed it at halftime when I mentioned this. Texas Tech was 5-0 in Big 12 play when leading at the half. So, though it was just a 1-point game, at least Tech wasn't having to dig out of a big hole. And they actually built a 11-point lead. They outscored Oklahoma State. I think it was 10-0 to start the second half. But then Oklahoma State went on something like a 15-0 run and took a lead. And then they kind of went back and forth there for a while, until Terrence Shannon found Kyler Edwards alone under the basket. Big time rebound and find by Shannon to send it to overtime. And then, for whatever reason, Texas Tech just does not play well in overtime. And another loss. They scored only 4 points, and that's just not going to get it done. They were just 2 for 10 from the field, and they didn't get to the line. They didn't get to the line if you add in the end of regulation over the last 8 minutes plus of the game. And on the other hand, Oklahoma State got to the line. I want to make sure I get this right because it's a big number. 32 times. So Oklahoma State got to the line 32 times, Texas Tech 12. I'll just let you decide what that means there. I'm not a big blame the refs guy. I'm not. But, this just keeps happening. And this is something where Tech was one of the best at getting to the line in the country. Like, they were top 5 for most of the year. Now all of a sudden, late in conference, especially on the road, even though there's not a lot of fans in attendance, Tech's just not getting the benefit of calls here, and it's hurt them. Come on. Oklahoma State shot 20 more free throws, and I don't feel like they were that much more aggressive in going to the basket. So that's disappointing. But still, even with all that said, Tech had an opportunity still to win, and they just missed too many open shots. They missed a ton of layups down the stretch. And then it seemed like Tech, especially off the screen and roll or pick and pop, their high screen game, McClung was getting shots he wanted. He just didn't knock enough of them down. He did knock some big ones down to keep Tech in it, but I feel like Shannon had a big night. McCullough, especially early, was good, but he turned it over way too many times. Last I saw, he had 4. Santos Silva had a really good night. I feel like Tech did a lot of things they wanted to do. They held Oklahoma State. This is 2 games in a row. They slowed the opposing team from 3. Oklahoma State had an abysmal night from 3. 2 for 12. Is that right? Yeah, 2 for 12 from deep. So really, all these stats other than the free throw disparity, you think Tech wins. Cade Cunningham was in, though he ended up with 20 points, he was in foul trouble for a lot of the games. So the Red Raiders, this is a tough loss. That's 3 in a row now. They've lost 3 ranked opponents. Oklahoma State's ranked in the Coaches Bowl, but 3 good opponents in West Virginia, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. But those are the type of opponents you're going to have to play in the tournament. You got to win these games. And Tech now, they lost 3 in a row. They're 6-7 in the Big 12, 14-8. It's pretty much panic time. Next game is Texas, who they're coming off a really tough loss, or they were. They had just lost a really tough one on Saturday. Where they blew a big lead, and of course they blew a big lead to you. I'm sure they haven't forgotten about early in the season on ESPN. So, things are looking really rough for Texas Tech basketball right now. But all it takes is one win for them to get back on track. So we'll have to see if any of the postponed games. Tech has postponed games with Iowa State, Baylor, and 2 against TCU to make up. I don't know how many of them they'll be able to make up. I think the cap is 3 supposedly. So we'll have to see which games, if any, they get to make up. But they could use some of those wins. Tech needs a win in the worst way. I don't care if it's whoever, Stephen F. Austin, Duke, or Gonzaga, or Baylor, or whoever. They just need a win. Any win right now to get off the schneid they're on. But like I said, I think while I was really underwhelmed and disappointed in the lack of effort against Kansas in the second half, I didn't see that tonight. They played with good effort. There was good scheme. It just, it was another tough loss in the gauntlet that is the Big 12. But people are probably tired of the excuses. It's been a really rough 2021 so far in Texas Tech sports when you count Mahomes, baseball team starting off 0-3 on the season, and then the basketball team here on this current losing streak. So the worm will change, the worm will turn, and I'll be here when it does, and we'll talk about that together as well. So might look for a podcast of Mighty Joe and I this week, us kind of digesting all this and talking about this and getting ready for that game against Texas and maybe some other games that, like I said, that have been postponed. So hang in there, Red Raider fans. With that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.